Hello, friends, and welcome to another video. Today, I'm gonna be trying out some delectable-looking candle art hacks, as if I needed another excuse to eat wax.
Don't eat it, don't. I promise my mom.
It tastes pretty good. Now, in the past, we've tried recreating our fair share of clickbaity hack videos, some beauty hacks, some fashion hacks, some photo/video hacks, and some soap art hacks that may or may not have been dangerous.
Cinnamon? No! No!
With an overall pretty hit-or-miss track record. They look like slabs of bacon. They look like meat. And I would say that usually, my reaction to these kinds of hacks is negative at worst and incredulous at best. Having tried so many and having had so many of them fail, I put too much on. I need help. I've become a bit jaded, but when I set eyes on these candle art hacks, I fell in lust. These things just look straight up awesome and I must have them. So this hack recreation video is driven by pure, unadulterated desire. Now, the main video that sparked my fire here is this one from Blossom called Get Lit with Drink-Inspired Candles, where they detail how you might catfish your friends with candles that look like summer drinks, milkshakes, lattes, you name it, you can't drink it. So as a person who enjoys candles to arguably an unhealthy degree, and who also likes to investigate the legitimacy of these types of videos, I decided to pick out a few key clickbait candle art hacks from this video and others to try to recreate today. And we'll see if we have a 3-wick candle's chance in hell of pulling this off. Because I've been burned before.
Oh my god. It's like the end of a Saw movie.
By Blossom, and also by candles. All right, so we are gonna dive right in with the Margarita candle hack. Now, I figured that we had to do the Margarita because it's kind of like the marquee Blossom candle art hack, and I think amongst all of the candles that look like drinks, this one is the most impressively realistic. And basically the way this hack works is that you melt down some gel wax and then cut it up to make ice cubes, then salt the rim of your Margarita glass with shaved tea light, then melt down, color, and send some more gel wax for the marg itself. And then assemble your parts to arrive in Margaritaville. Now, I think our first step here is to melt some jelly wax to make into fake ice cubes, using this silicone mold. Now, one thing that is a dynamic here is that for some reason, jelly wax seemed to be like very sold out at all of the craft stores near us. So we had to go for a bulk amount of jelly, like for professional candle makers.
Less crafty, more wholesale.
Exactly.
Industrial supply.
Exactly. It feels like I got this from like an old school like butcher. It's like, this is a shank.
Wow, you slapping it?
This is a flank.
Slapping the bag?
Look at that. This is a steak. And we needed to extract 12 ounces of gel wax for our ice cube making purposes. It looks sharp, but it feels soft. So I'm just gonna saw some off and measure it out. Does that seem about right? Oh my word, what a bizarre substance.
It does look like you are carving a rock.
Now, we did kind of make up the 12-ounce measurement here. Ooh, that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I'm getting the hang of it now. Haha! As usual, even for the more complicated, like crafty hacks, these guys really give us no specific instructions at all. So like in the past, we had to do a lot of freeze framing and guesstimating here. All right, so now that our gel wax is measured out, yep, this is all I needed to do.
That's the video.
That's the video. Thanks for watching, everyone. I am going to put this guy on the hot plate and melt it. Ooh, it looks cool. It's kind of like a large iceberg. Oh my God.
Yeah, maybe you gotta push it back down and, okay.
That kind of worked.
That worked pretty well.
And once our gel wax was fully melted, that's pretty good. We poured it into our ice cube mold and let it cool. Now, in the hack video, these harden instantaneously and then they just chop them into smaller ice cubes, but obviously we have to let them actually cool. So I'm going to push them to the side and then we're gonna focus on the abdomen of the margarita, the thorax of the margarita.
What are you, the Leonardo DiCaprio meme? Oh my God.
Yeah, with me and my bizarro jelly candle. All right, back to the slab.
Oh my God.
And we had to measure out another 10 ounces of gel wax for the marg itself. Yum. And on goes the hot plate. Now, while this is melting, I am going to work ahead a little bit, just because I feel like once we get into the final stages of this hack, we're gonna have to move fast, because I don't want like the jelly wax to harden at any point. So I jumped into grating my tea light to make the margarita salt. Oh, this is happening fast. This could be the end of this grater. It's just like covered in wax now. Okay, I just discovered a superpower. I can actually just crumble the tea lights with my hand.
Oh wow, soft bay.
Whoa!
That's actually soft bay.
What a specific and useless superpower. So with the tea lights shredded, it looks more like Parmesan,
It looks like a nice parm.
and our main margarita mix melted, we actually had to go back and slice our ice cubes before we could put everything together. I almost forgot about them. Turns out that they were not even close to being cool, so I put them in the fridge for a few minutes, so hopefully they're all good now. I'm not sure if this was Blossom's fault necessarily. Oh, Tyler, it's still hot on this side. But they definitely don't tell you how long these things take to solidify. I think that's why it's so misshapen, because it's not like fully cooled yet. See? And it is quite a while. All right, let me chop this one. These ones will sit in the fridge for while I chop this one. But eventually we were able to extract our gel. Get out of there, you fool! And slice them into passable looking ice cubes. That looks okay.
That looks like an ice cube, kind of.
They look like what I imagined Turkish delights to look like when I read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And then it was time to get our Jimmy Buffett on and assemble our candle. All right, let's do this.
Go.
Gel wax going into Pyrex.
That's nice and clear.
Now the top of the margarita glass is going in to the top. There we go. Did I get it? I think so. Now it's going straight into the salt. Margarita salt, baby. I'm talking about salt, baby.
A little bonus dangler there.
It's a little dangly. Okay, well, moving on. That'll be the back of the candle. So with the rim sorta salted, next up was the colorant and lime essential oil.
Green and yellow.
Yeah, so it's like lime green.
Okay, got it, okay.
This is what they do, okay?
Okay. Never question Blossom. Except always question Blossom. Rarely believe Blossom.
All right, so now we gotta move fast because it is solidifying a little bit at the bottom.
No, you gotta do the wick first.
You're right, you're so right. I forgot about the wick.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. I partially blame Blossom for me forgetting the wick here because they don't really mention it. Their wick just appears. Okay.
Nice.
And in goes the liquid.
Oh, I leave a little space for the
The cubes, I forgot the cubes.
Yeah, you got the cubes. Yeah, it looks like a margarita though, in my opinion.
Woo! Here comes one cube. Now, I think a combination of me trying to make sure the ice was visible. It's adding volume, but I can't see the cubes. And also just pure panic.
Keep going in. Keep adding.
Is this about to overflow?
And then just keep stacking them.
All right, I need one right there. Led to me adding in too many ice cubes and kind of overfilling our glass. It's very, very full.
Yeah, it is.
Someone is getting blackout. And unfortunately, my cup runnething over led to the demise of the salted rim. Yeah, I think I see the salt at the bottom. I think that's it.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of sad because I actually think we pulled off most of the other steps pretty well. I just scarfed it right at the end. So even though this one was probably passable, we decided to try it one more time to see if we could get that true catfish cocktail. There we go.
Okay.
That is salt. With everything exactly the same.
Oh, I wick it.
All right, yes, wick. Ha 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 ha.
John Wick 2.
Electric boogaloo. But just with a little less margarita mix in the glass and a few fewer ice cubes. There's one. I'm putting the big ones on the bottom.
Yeah.
There's two.
Nice stable base.
There's 5. Oh, this is coming together for me. And then like one here or something. Or there. Here.
There.
Here.
That one.
This one.
The other one.
This one.
Yeah.
And that seemed to do the trick.
All right, that actually looks pretty good.
The perfectionist in me is mostly pleased. So though I do have to complain about Blossom's continuous lack of measurements and specific instructions, i.e. with the timing of things, I do have to say, this is probably the closest we've ever gotten to recreating one of their original products.
It looks amazing from this angle.
Then film it from that angle.
Ready?
Only and forever. And with one in the hand, we then had to test how it functioned as a candle. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna let this cool, and then we'll come back, trim the wick, and light them up. The moment of truth. Now, this candle does work, as in you can light the wick.
There she blows.
This candle's on fire. And it does look good.
All right, ready? I'm gonna do the blossom bit.
Can I drink this? No, it's a flame. But one thing I don't like about it is that the ice cubes are sort of first up in the line of fire.
Literally.
So they're gonna melt pretty quickly.
So that is a little bit sad.
That's the problem with these cute candles, is you don't want them to melt, ever. And in terms of the scent,
I don't think I'm getting much smell yet.
the lime essential oil is actually trapped underneath the ice cubes in like the drink portion.
That is a flaw in its candle architecture.
So we probably should have scented the whole thing, because as is, you won't be able to smell anything until you've already used up over half the candle.
All right, is that enough?
So I'm just gonna keep it as is.
All right, I'm gonna blow it out. I think I'm done.
And just look at it.
I'm done. It worked. It's pretty cute. It was kind of hard, but it's done.
So with a W in the visual column and a meh in the nasal cavity, it's on to hack number 2.
The latte candle hack.
Also from this same Blossom video. And basically the way it works is you make a plain brown drink base, pour it into a glass mug,
Look at that fancy ass handle.
and then you whip up some wax into a kind of frosting that you pipe onto your latte.
I guess it's not really a latte, right? It's not really like latte art. It's more like whipped cream on top of any brown liquid.
Now, I would say the main attraction of this hack for me is the whipped cream portion, because this idea of whipping your wax up into a pipeable frosting seems to appear a lot in these hacks, and despite how easily they do it, it seems pretty hard.
Now, we have successfully whipped soap before.
Yes.
It did take a long time to get the soap to act like frosting, but we've done it. So I guess I just want to see if it's possible to do with candle wax.
And the first step to this latte candle hack is to make the drink itself.
Now, one of the fallacies of all of these hacks is that they don't usually specify which type of candle wax they're using, and there are a few different types. In this instance, we think it looks like soy wax because it's flaky, but we could be wrong.
And we decided it looked like around 8 ounces of soy wax.
Ooh, this looks tasty. It also kind of smells like white chocolate chips.
Then we threw it onto the double boiler to melt and dropped in a brown crayon.
All right, I have to derobe him first. What? Why can't I? Here we go.
To give it its coffee color.
Now that is a naked crayon. Oh, boom. All right, it is melting. I am just gonna stir a little bit. Oh yeah. It's kind of got like vague minestrone vibes, I would say, or like tomato soup plus garlic.
So with the wax melted and looking pretty brown, next up Blossom adds in a few drops of coffee oil to give the candle its scent.
I think they just put as many drops as they feel like, so I think I'm just gonna go do the whole thing.
Go ham.
Fun. Then what they do next here is they pour their brown candle wax into their latte cup. Woo, Nelly! And then put the wick in after. Here comes the wick. John Wick. And then use popsicles to get the wick to be centered. Ta-da!
And once that was all done, we had to let it harden. So we turned our attention to
The whipped cream, frosting, latte foam, whatever it is.
So I put the remaining soy wax into a Pyrex and melted it in the microwave.
Just because you can do that with this soy wax. All right, it's pretty clear and it's just faster. So now what I'm pretty sure we do is just use the electric mixer and just blend the crap out of it until it turns into whipped cream?
Yes.
All right, I guess let's do it.
There aren't really any more instructions to this. It just seems to magically become whipped cream after a few serious jump cuts. So we decided to blend and hope for the best.
All right, it just looks like oil right now.
Yeah.
Now, as I suspected, this isn't really as simple as it seems.
Is anything happening?
Not yet.
How long do I do this for? For forever?
Because it just stays liquid for a very long time.
Is this going to be forever?
I almost wonder if I started off too hot, because I feel like I just roiled around some liquid for a while.
I feel like I see something happening. No.
I don't know that you do.
But eventually, we started to see a film and some cloudiness.
Finally! After 84 years, it's getting cloudy.
Though it did seem to stay at vaguely cloudy for quite a while.
Maybe you should walk away, and then something will happen.
But I think some combination of it cooling down,
All right, fluff, you bastard.
us hand mixing like crazy,
Turtle.
and scraping the backsplash on the sides back into the bowl,
My workspace has descended into hell. Get back in there.
started to push us in the right direction.
What is life?
I don't know.
What is life if not wax?
And then, after legitimately doing this for 32 minutes,
Oh?
You think?
Oh?
our wax reached the right amount of cool and whipped to become Cool Whip.
All right,
Ready?
let's do it.
Woo!
Okay.
All right, after 40 hours, it's ready to go.
But knowing how cool we had become, we needed to act fast to get the whipped cream into the piping bag
Ready?
Yeah.
Ah! Holy crap. This is madness.
and onto the candle before it completely hardened.
How do I do this again?
Just, yeah, oh.
Holy sh! Holy sh! It's working!
All right.
Holy f!
Build it up, Safiya, build it up. Build it up, build it up, build it up. Keep going, keep going. Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah!
That was a horrible spiral.
It was pretty bad, but you got it. You got around town. That looks like whipped cream.
Honestly, I am shocked this worked.
All right, just to redeem myself, here's a nice spiral.
Show me the good one. You couldn't have done that like 4 inches to the left.
And I am also somewhat shocked by my poor frosting performance.
I wasn't ready for the wick.
No.
The wick got in my way.
John Wick, damn it.
Why did I go so high? Oh my god, I almost forgot the cinnamon stick.
Cinnamon stick.
No.
While it's still soft. Oh, yeah.
Now, terrible frosting job aside, this hack does seem to work,
Should I do another round in there?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to ruin it more.
though the amount of time and effort it takes to make the wax into frosting is severely underrated by the hack video.
I could go right there.
Will you stop?
Okay.
Put the piping bag down, lady.
But improbably, I think Blossom might be 2 for 2 here.
Once again, I'm a little bit sad about having to light this on fire
Yeah.
because the cute part is at the top.
Now, as for the scent,
All right, shall I sniff it? Oh, yep, that was just flame. That was just carbon monoxide.
like with the Margarita, there's no scent at the top of this candle,
It doesn't smell like much.
though the plain soy wax does smell a tiny bit nicer than the plain jelly wax.
It's not a strong smell. It doesn't really carry, but it is like a generally pleasant cocoa butter-esque smell.
But I don't think it's worth it to burn through all of our hard work just for vague cocoa butter vibes.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that. I want to get rid of it. I want to blow it out.
Okay.
I'm not pleased.
So once again, I think I'll keep this as more of a display piece, or perhaps just a prank candle, bruh.
Oh my god, it's a candle!
What? Hold on.
Oh, I sounded like a Troom Troom girl there, didn't I?
So with early stage tennis elbow, but a cute candle to show for it, we're on to hack number 3.
The cherry blossom hack.
Now this is a step away from the catfish drinks category, but when we saw this, we really wanted to try it. Mainly because it seemed way too easy and good to be true, which I would say some of the faster hacks in these videos seem to feel like. See this owl.
Now, this hack video is like really short and sweet. It essentially entails just melting down some wax, adding brown colorant, like dipping some braided wicks into it for branches, and then melting down some pink wax, like sticking your fingers into the pink wax and then grabbing the branches to create cherry blossoms.
Now, as implied, we don't have a lot of instructions here. Blossom actually starts off by twisting their wicks, but then they immediately dip them into their melted wax. So in real life, we had to start by prepping our wax first.
Now for this hack, I'm gonna be using paraffin wax.
It's a big old bag of wax.
Just because I feel like whenever I see people sticking their hands into wax, it's paraffin. It's All-Star, but it's played on a thick bag of paraffin wax.
That was pretty good.
Right?
And we decided to go with 12 ounces of the stuff just to have enough to dip into.
And while this is slowly melting, I'm going to twist our wicks to make our cherry blossom tree branches.
Twisting.
It's not like actually braiding.
No.
It's just twisting.
No.
It's like what that like Con Air machine does to your hair.
And you're supposed to make a few and then attach them to each other.
Something like that.
Yeah, that looks like a slightly demonic twig.
Like it looks kind of like a wishbone or something.
Oh, it looks like a wishbone, yeah.
So with those prepared,
That one looks like a saguaro cactus.
we made short work of the paraffin island and added our brown colorant to the melted wax.
Oh, we're gonna need a lot more. That just made it vaguely like sepia toned. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to dip our branches into the paraffin wax and then like lay them back on this wax paper to dry/cool.
Now, we learned the hard way that you kind of have to let your wax cool a bit before doing this.
Oh my God, it's untwisting. It untwisted, no!
And also that you need way more than one coat of wax to get a stiff branch.
I think we're gonna need like actually many coats. Like they need to be able to support themselves and also flowers.
So in our quest to make them sturdy, we made them kind of thick.
They kind of look like very upsetting pretzels, like rolled gold rejects.
So with our lumpy twigs in hand, we had to melt down even more wax for our future blossoms, as well as figure out how to get our branches to stand up in our vase. Because it kind of seems like Blossom just lightly places them into something.
But I feel like the branches are gonna be top heavy, so I don't want them to like fall out. So we got a little bit of floral foam. That looks okay.
That looks pretty good.
And I'm just gonna stab our branches into the foam. It looks like a little forest. I'm kind of pleased.
And with our branches set up and melted wax prepped,
Oh, cute.
it was time to make our blossoms.
Okay, so now I just stick my fingers in it? That feels hot.
Blossom's hands just kind of dive right in here and go straight into the wax.
Should I just see what happens?
See how hot it is.
Oh.
So monkey see, monkey do.
Ah, that's hot. Oh, that's too hot. Too hot. Not ready. Too hot.
I guess they do say to use warm wax here, but I don't know what that means exactly.
All right, we've given the wax a couple of minutes to cool. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's hot. Oh my God, it's hot. Oh, ow, 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 ow. The burn came later. Ow, ow, ow.
I think something could be happening.
Ow, Tyler, this hurts.
But as you can see, even letting it cool for a few minutes didn't do too much for us.
Fail.
But you
Oh
got-
no, oh no.
Oh.
No. All right, so it looks like I'm not having that much luck just sticking my fingers into the wax and going directly onto the branch, partially because it's hot and partially because it doesn't seem to be sticking to the branch. It seems to be sticking to my fingers. So we did a little bit of like other research and it seems like involving a bowl of cold water could help, either by dunking my fingers into it before or after dunking them in the wax. It seems like that could help my finger and the wax like release from each other.
So we decided to go with water.
All right, let's prep the fingers. Poor fingers, going through a lot today.
Then wax.
And then I grab onto a branch, right?
Yeah.
Then tree.
This feels better already, actually.
Okay.
Let me just hold the tree and see if I can slide out of the DMs. Okay, the thumb's out.
Thumbs out?
Thumb is out. Okay, hold on. Index is coming out.
Oh, it's free.
All right, now only the middle finger. Apologies to everyone. I'm just flipping everyone off. Oh my god, it's kind of okay. Okay, the front looks horrible, but this side looks cute.
Oh my god, it worked.
So adding some cold water into our process here seemed to make this thing kind of work. Not quite as smoothly as Blossom's clamp and go process,
Ooh, that was good.
but yielding some flowers nonetheless.
I will say the branches are a hair thick.
Yeah.
Like I'm having to make sure to clamp my fingers together so the wax touches each other. The noises I'm making while doing this. But it is not working. Okay, so that's not the worst thing I've ever done.
No.
Yay! I feel that way about a lot of the things that we've done today. That's not the worst.
I think overall, this hack was a moderate success. The water was a pretty big missing step, so I would say the hack as presented is kind of incomplete, but in terms of a final product, I think we got pretty close to what Blossom made.
It doesn't look exactly like theirs, but it looks vaguely like a representation of a cherry blossom tree.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of how it fared as an actual candle,
The whole thing is wick, so I don't necessarily need to trim the wick, unless I need to like sort of expose the ends of each branch so I can light it. That would make sense. Yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of like pruning. I'm Edward Scissorhanding.
so in the Blossom video, they just light one branch and then cut away, but I wanted to light all of the branches at once just to see what would happen.
My flowers are gonna be destroyed instantly, aren't they? Oh my god, this is hard.
Yeah, these guys are not trying to light.
And pretty quickly, we started getting some rogue wax drippage
We got some droplets down the bowl.
and some serious flames.
Oh! Okay, it's on fire. Oh, the flames are tall. No flowers have completely gone yet, but all of the flowers are full of brown wax.
I will say it was pretty visually impressive,
It looks awesome.
but it did feel a little dangerous.
Okay, is this a fire hazard?
Probably.
Should I blow it out?
Let's blow it out.
Okay. Whoa! That is a plume of smoke! Oh my god!
All right, hold on to your butts with the fire alarm.
So, as you guys saw, this thing is not really a candle. Like, there's no slow burn factor here.
Its wax to wick ratio is way off.
Its wax to wick ratio is whack.
And it also doesn't smell like anything, like there isn't any fragrance in it. So functionally, it's basically just a bouquet of matches.
I was pleased with the thing that we had made before we lit it, but I am not happy about this.
So I think that as a candle hack, it's a no, but as a fireball, it's gonna be a yes from me, dog. So that was our adventure into clickbait candle hacks. I gotta say that overall, these hacks were more successful than any other hacks we've ever tried. We had the usual problem of no measurements and no specific instructions,
Is this going to be forever?
but I think that we were able to come away with some pretty cute looking objects with a medium amount of troubleshooting and a decent amount of dignity. I will say though that while these things were successful and aesthetically pleasing crafts, they're not that fun to burn as candles. The first two are definitely better than the cherry blossom, and some of their problems could potentially be remedied by adding more scent into them, but I still feel sad about burning such beautiful beautiful wax.
All right, I'm gonna blow it out. I think I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
The cherry blossom, however, is just a paraffin bush. I would not recommend setting this thing on fire, as it seems like it would be better suited to being a Madame Tussauds wax figurine rather than a cottagecore menorah.
Oh! Okay, it's on fire. Oh, the flames are tall. So in conclusion, these hacks do kind of work, but you're putting in a lot of elbow grease just to set them on fire. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked that video, make sure to shamash that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to shamash that subscribe button. Here is my Instagram, here is my TikTok, and here is our live streaming channel where we live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So make sure to check any of those things out if they seem interesting to you. And with that, I will see you guys next time.